Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and the first bitter winds of winter have started to blow through Texas. It got cold a couple of weeks ago, and then warmed back up, but it got, like, proper cold, like, almost freezing outside, but not quite. And so I have a warm shirt on with the sleeves rolled up, because like I said, almost freezing, but not quite. I've got a mug of hot chocolate with, it's very hot. It's very hot. And I wanted to talk about this indie showcase. I've not watched it yet. We're going to watch it together. And I have to find my headphones and put them in. Don't think less of me because I have AirPods. They're very convenient in the ecosystem. So Nintendo released an Indie World Showcase. They used to call them Indie Directs, I think, or something like that. And thank goodness they stopped doing that, because anytime you put direct in the title of a video, people get very excited, and they think they're going to see Breath of the Wild 2, which is, we've seen it a few times now, or Mario Odyssey 2, or Metroid Prime 4. They're going to see something big. And so I think to temper expectations, they started calling them just Indie World Showcases. But it hasn't actually tempered expectations, because it feels like a lot of people who watch these things are stupid bozos, who think that, oh, Indie World Showcase, well, I'm still going to get something incredible and mind-blowing, like they've never played an indie and they don't know what to expect. Indies are great. There's some really solid ones out there. Minecraft started its life as an indie. Yes, it's owned by Microsoft now, but it was made by a single man. And you can say that about a lot of really good games. Stardew Valley is an indie, and it's a phenomenal game. You know, we love it. Before it got scooped up and, you know, they ran to the moon with it, No Man's Sky was an indie. But for the most part, indie games are these smaller, simpler, and arguably more creative games. Now, I've not watched this showcase yet, because I'll be honest with you, I have trouble clicking with an indie title based on a trailer. It has to be something that launches and someone, either I know personally or someone who I like watch on YouTube, plays it, and they're able to structure a discussion about it in a way that clicks with my brain, and then I'll go get it and start playing it. But I just saw so much hate for this. I wanted to watch and see why. I wanted to see if it was warranted, because my first assumption was that it's probably not. It's probably just stupid people being stupid on the internet, which is not uncommon. But let's give it a fair shot. We're going to watch this thing together, and we're going to see whether or not there's any sort of genuine critiques to take away from this. Rated E, everyone to mature. I wonder if... Stop saying that, Nintendo. No one believes that games are being delayed for COVID anymore. That's just not happening. Also, it's a little bit on the loud side. Turn that down a hair. It's very fun.
Hello.
Very exciting little intro.
To Indie World.
I'm
Hi.
Mariko.
And I'm Tyler.
We're back with a showcase full of indie games headed to the Nintendo
Oh
Switch
gosh,
system.
they're gonna have
Let's
banter,
dive
aren't
right in.
they? I hope they don't have banter. I just want to get through the games. Now, my expectations are set that we're going to be seeing some indie things here. That was... Okay, no, listen. Indie... I just realized that... You know what I mean. Is this Indian Cookie Mama? Ooh, edgy teenage son. Doesn't want mama to touch her. Mama's got depression. Dad's making rice rockets. Venba, indeed.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sharon. We're making a cooking game called Venba, which is about an immigrant Indian mother and her family coming to Canada in the 80s.
Food often
That
has
is
to bridge
very
between assimilated
specific.
children and their immigrant parents, so we wanted to use cooking as a lens to tell the story of this family as they grow and change.
We often see the kids' side of these stories, but as we ourselves got older, we thought telling the parents' side might make for an interesting change of perspective, and we hope you find it interesting too.
Bon appetit and enjoy the show.
Is this going to be one of those that makes you
Something
feel
smells
things?
delicious.
Grab a spoon and get a taste of this wholesome narrative cooking game.
Now, I've seen
Help
people
an Indian
complain about
mother
those
who's
segments there where the
recently
developers
immigrated
come
to
out and
Canada
talk. And listen,
connect with her
I don't want to
heritage
see
by
those.
cooking a
I don't want to
variety
see the
of
developers
mouth-watering
talk. Just
South
show me the
Indian
game.
dishes.
But the complaint that
Experience a
people were
story of
making,
love
like
and
the complaints
loss
that I saw, was
through
that they weren't very
branching
professional.
conversations. try to
These are
restore lost
indie
family
developers.
recipes
What did you
and
expect?
bop
Them to go
along to
rent out a
soundtrack
studio
inspired
space
by Indian
in
music.
LA and have
Start working up an
freaking
appetite for Venba,
Steven
coming to the
Spielberg come
Nintendo
in and
Switch
direct
system
their little
next
segment?
spring.
I know I talked all over that Venba bit, but it's a really stupid
Ever
argument
wanted
from
to make a
people.
game?
Yeah, but it's a lot harder than you might think. Just ask Kani'i and Kumade, two friends striving to find the perfect idea for their next game. Watch their story develop as you play through stages of a retro-inspired puzzle platformer while following their day-to-day struggles.
Their recent
It's a
games
game
haven't
within a
exactly
game.
been raking in profits, so both of them must work part-time jobs to make ends meet. Will their friendship be able to take the strain of these challenges?
Find out when Goodbye World launches on Nintendo Switch later this month.
Oh, that title is concerning. That is a concerning title. Goodbye World makes me feel like it's going to end with maybe there's just one friend making a game. Is this a death platformer? Is the purpose of the game you're hunting down people to take down the river Styx? Like, what's going on here? It looks high action. I think that for a lot of people, a problem with something like this is that not even the individual games, just the style of games might not appeal to you. So for me, I'm not actually a big platformer. There's a few that I like.
I'm dying to play this one.
This looks really high action,
grave
high
mistake
intensity.
to
It
skip
looks
it.
like it would be a lot of fun if I was
Don
into
the Robes
this.
of Death Incorporated CEO.
I reckon
Death
if you're like an
himself in this
action adventure
grimly charming
platformer, because that's what this
roguelike
is,
game.
right?
It looks
Is that
like
what you would
your
call it?
subordinates have been
I heard someone
working
just say
overtime,
roguelike.
So it's up to you to restore work-death balance. There are 70 wicked weapons and scorching spells at your disposal, all of which can be upgraded to create devastating combos as you hack and slash your way through the corporate underworld.
One of the perks
Right
of
under
being
the surface,
death
it
is
gets
that,
molten lava
you
hot.
can't die. So use what you've learned and earned to overcome each department's vengeful minions and bosses. Reap what you sow when Have a Nice Death slashes onto Nintendo Switch March 22nd.
Now,
Pre-orders begin
for someone
later
who
today.
likes a game like that, I imagine it's going to be pretty good. Again, I have nothing I can complain about here. I knew going into this, most of the indie titles, what indies tend to be, I wasn't going to gel with them. Also, I'm not reading. What I want is for someone to, in real time, translate this for me, but extremely unlackluster, right? Like, so, with a story that I hope will move you. Thank you.
Is there anything
I actually
better
don't want
than
that. I would be
relaxing
complaining
in
about that
nature
more.
and
Although,
enjoying the gentle sea breeze?
it would be funny.
What about doing both of those things while lying on top of a giant capybara? In this small open world game, you have one goal. Find inner peace on an isolated island paradise. As the retired warrior Akka, explore handcrafted islands covered in majestic mountains, dense tropical forests.
This one
and
appeals to me.
inviting hot springs.
I like the
Spend
look
your
of it. It
time
has a
here
really interesting
however
visual
you'd
art
like.
style.
Nurture the island's flora and fauna, build a shelter, craft items, or feed these adorable baby dragons. Or
Adorable is an interesting
quest
choice of
to meet
words.
Mysterious characters, friendly giants, and face the ghosts of your past. Literally.
Akka washes up on Nintendo
Uh,
Switch December 15th.
I think I might that probably might get that. That looks pretty good. Okay. This is like souped up what was it? Dig Dug? It's Dig Dug if he had a freaking super-powered drill and a machine gun from the looks of things. And a death robot. This looks like it would be a lot of fun. It looks like for me it would be very frustrating because I'm getting older, you know, rapidly approaching my 30s. My reflexes aren't what they used to be, and they were never good to begin with. Gosh, I kind of want to try it, even though I feel like I'd be awful at it, just because it looks
You dig this
relentless. Pepper
Yes,
grinder!
and Pepper, this spicy, drill-wielding
I love
pepper
it!
grinder has been shipwrecked and robbed. Now, she must spin up her trusty drill grinder to reclaim what was stolen from her, chew through the terrain, perform impressive maneuvers, and solve tricky puzzles as you unearth collectibles for your gallery and gather up pieces of the scattered riches.
Cash them in to Pepper and upgrade Grinder with new drill bits. Ramp up the
We're calling it
chaos to the
Grinder,
max
are we?
and open up even more areas to dig in
All
this
right.
thrilling drilling adventure. Pepper Grinder burrows onto Nintendo Switch next year.
I like the concept. It looks like it's going to be fun.
I think it's time we take a coffee break.
Then pull up a chair because
Okay.
this coffee brewing, narrative-driven visual novel is back for a second episode.
Is this a
As the
sequel
barista
or is
of
this
your own late-night
DLC?
coffee shop. Meet quirky characters, listen to their heartfelt stories, and get to know them, one cup at a time, all while enjoying the cozy lo-fi soundtrack.
I thought
Not
for
all
sure
of
that
your
cat had
customers will be
a
human.
tie for
You'll
a second.
encounter an opera-singing banshee, an orc who makes games, and many more fantastical regulars. Experiment with ingredients.
So this
to
is one of
find
those
just the right brew for each
types
customer.
of games
Dazzle them with latte art masterpieces
that
uncover secret recipes
doesn't
that are
appeal
sure
to me at
warm
all.
their heart.
But I feel like
Relax
if
and
this
stay a
were my
while
type of
when
game,
Coffee
this sort
Talk
of
Episode 2,
interactive
Hibiscus
visual
and
novel kind of
Butterfly
thing,
pours onto
if that
Nintendo
appealed to me, I
Switch
feel like
next
this
spring.
would be one of the better ones, just based on what I've seen. I don't know. Let me know down below if this is something you gel with and you like it and you're looking forward to chapter 2. Oni. What is it?
Take on the role of a vengeful demon warrior in this spirited 3D action adventure.
Oni Road to the
After his
Mightiest
defeat
Oni.
At the hands of a Japanese folktale hero, Kuta travels to a small island where he joins forces with the spirit Kazemaru.
Ancient demons lurk within vast meadows and lush forests. To defeat them, you'll control both characters simultaneously using a single Joy-Con controller. Wield Kuta's club to attack demons, then summon Kazemaru to draw out their spirits.
But beware, some demons are invincible, leaving you with no other choice than to flee the encounter. Can Kuta overcome his trials and become the most powerful demon? Begin your quest in Oni, Road to Be the Mightiest Oni.
I miss the
When it comes to
90s,
Nintendo
man.
Switch,
I would have
March
loved to
9th,
see people react to this
2023.
trailer in like the 80s would have been the peak of Satanic Panic. But I grew up in the 90s, surrounded by wonderful people who were Southern Baptists. Has that bit of napkin or paper towel been on my face this whole time? They would have lost their minds at the concept of a video game where you played as an Oni, well, or a demon. It would have been hilarious. I mean, considering most of the adults I grew up with were convinced that Pokemon were actually Japanese demons and was being used by Satan to brainwash the children of the West, you know? I can only imagine where they would have gone with that. What a simple time. What
From
simple
the
people.
creators of Monument Valley comes a character-driven, roguelite, metaphorical ball game?
Every night, when Desta falls asleep, they enter a mysterious dream world filled with scattered memories of long-forgotten locations, faces from days gone by, and yes, powerful orbs for playing a surreal turn-based ball game.
Use the orbs to pull off perfect throws, shoot sneaky trick shots, and change the course of conversations. As the night progresses and you fall deeper into a sweet slumber, you'll unlock new abilities and ways to overcome challenges. You'll also meet a cast of colorful characters along the way, brought to life with a full voice cast.
I'm not sure I can keep up.
Unravel your dreams when Desta, The Memories Between, launches on Nintendo Switch.
I went quiet for that
early
one
next
because I
year.
was actually surprised. It's a bizarre concept. I oftentimes, when watching these, try to figure out
Going
how
to
these
the
people come up
movies,
with these concepts.
Skipping school, using supernatural mind-reading powers.
Yeah. Wait, what?
As you
Yep.
do.
This slice of life pixel art game has it all. Set in 90s rural Indonesia, it follows high school sweethearts Atma and Raya through their journey of self-discovery.
However, when a mysterious power suddenly threatens their existence, they must scour their vibrant little town in search of answers, talking and diving into the minds of the townsfolk to uncover deep secrets.
Can Atma and Raya face the end of the world? Find out when A Space for the Unbound launches on Nintendo Switch January 19th, 2023.
It doesn't speak to me, but again, if you're into it, it looks like a solid version of that. Okay, the art style on this is incredible. The art style on this is absolutely incredible. I might own this just to look at it. Can you explain what you do in the game, though? Like, it looks awesome, but what is the goal?
Bonjour. Je
Hello.
suis Cédric Babouche, du studio
I am
Blanc,
Cedric.
et
Oh
directeur
gosh,
artistique de
I
Dordogne.
mean,
Dordogne, c'est l'histoire de Mimi, une jeune femme.
You folks can read along with me. I'm not reading out loud.
Quand j'étais enfant, je me souviens que l'été était synonyme d'indépendance et d'exploration. Un moment magique où chaque jour était la promesse d'une nouvelle aventure. Notre studio souhaite recréer cette étincelle de nostalgie.
I'm no longer reading,
à
I'm just
travers
looking
le
at this
parcours de
man.
Mimi. On se sert d'un mélange de peinture traditionnelle et d'animation pour créer
This
des
is a-
sensations
this-
et un lien
I
fort
mean, first off,
entre le
he's a...
visuel et les
he's a very
émotions
handsome
qu'on souhaite
fellow.
partager. Que vous jouiez
And he has
seul
beautiful art.
ou avec votre famille, on espère que vous apprécierez Dordogne.
And he's got ASMR
Look at these
voice.
landscapes.
Ooh la la, so pretty.
This guy missed his calling. He
Meet
shouldn't be
Mimi.
making
As
video
a
games or
child,
artwork.
she
He should
spent
be
all of
making
her
ASMR
summers here.
videos.
Now she
I'ma
returns
buy
to
this.
her late grandmother's home.
I'ma buy this
find
just
that
to
she's left
look at it.
behind a series of letters and lost family secrets for Mimi to uncover.
Revisit Mimi's childhood memories and help her reconnect with the inquisitive girl she once was. Play both in the past and the present. Skip along the picturesque French countryside as 10-year-old Mimi while exploring her grandmother's house in the present.
Discover the close relationship between grandmother and granddaughter as you collect photos, objects, and words. Use them to fill Mimi's journal and keep her precious memories alive. Dordogne travels onto the
Dordogne.
Nintendo Switch system next spring.
Gosh, I am gonna have to
I
revisit
can
this one just to
barely
remember
keep
these
a
games.
houseplant alive.
Don't worry, you don't need a green thumb to enjoy this one. As Arabella Green, you're a retired botanist who has a grand manor all to yourself. Take care of its magnificent gardens by solving plant-based puzzles and preserving a collection of
That's not where I thought it was
forgotten
gonna go.
Unearth seeds.
I assume it was
plant
just gonna be like
them,
you
and find
decorate
their
a garden.
ideal habitat.
Didn't think there would be
Some plants
puzzles.
will be fussy, so you'll have to think outside the box or pot to locate the right place for them. Inspect the manor for clues, newspaper clippings, letters, and more to help your gardening skills blossom while learning more about Arabella herself.
Stop and smell the flowers.
I
when
like
Botany
that
Manor
in
balloons
concept.
onto Nintendo
I'm not
Switch
sure if I would have the
next year.
time and patience to engage with it, though.
Whoa, sick crocodile costume. It's a dragon. Anyway, we better start the show if we want to win that theater contest. Okay, let's go.
The Royal Theatrical Spectacle. It's the best of all the festivals. Everyone loves acting, and people appreciate a good song. Competition performance festival. Fresh and need to be gone. Theater show every day. You guys totally have a chance to win the contest and perform at the Royal Theatrical Spectacle.
The Royal Theatric Spec... The Royalty Spay Part... The Royalty Pay Spectacles?
Step down
down, dragon.
I want that one.
You'll never
I
defeat
want this
me,
one
prince.
so badly. I don't even know what it's actually about. I got so
avond.
distracted just by the VA and then the song kicked in.
Games maken voelt soms als optreden voor ons. Voice acting improviseren met vrienden, samen liedjes spelen en gewoon grappies en ideeën ter plekke bedenken. Je kan het ook voelen in het spel, waar vaak wat je hoort ook ons eerste take was.
Oh my
We willen de
gosh.
spelers dit gevoel van improvisatie geven door ze te laten acteren, zingen en dansen in ons nieuwe spel Once Upon a Jester. Het is gevuld met zelfgemaakte liedjes, grappige personages en avonturen.
I want this
Hopen dat je
so
het leuk zult
badly. Oh my
You know
gosh.
what? I'm joining a traveling theater troupe.
Surely you jest.
Nope. Musical theater rules. That's what best friends Sock and Jester are about to discover. They've devised a mischievous scheme to steal a royal diamond. Trouble is, their plan hinges on receiving an invitation to join the famous royal theatrical spectacle.
Only the best of the best get invited, so they'll have to improv their way to fame and outperform every other act they encounter on the road. Join them on their wacky, whimsical journey across a fantasy kingdom full of silly characters and even sillier spectacles.
Oh, you
No
better
two
believe I
performances
will.
Are the same. So sing your heart out, crack jokes, and make the stage your own.
Once Upon a Jester jingles onto Nintendo Switch later today.
I love how bad the green screening is. Oh, so that's out on Switch right
Be
now.
a hero in this sequel to the classic roguelike game where the adventure changes with every playthrough. Whether you're a lute-playing bard with vertigo or a vegan chef who fights meat, your goals are the same. Gather countless riches, build up your castle, and ensure your legacy.
All your upgrades carry over to your heirs, and each new successor wields their own personal traits and abilities. The Nintendo Switch version also includes the Fabled Heroes update, adding a ton of new content, including dozens of new subclasses and items. So experiment with different playstyles as you battle fierce foes, make friends, and avoid clown bites that can give you clownanthropy.
Ugh, you might want to get that looked at.
Not like
You
lycanthropy.
won't have to wait long to build your own legacy. Rogue Legacy 2 launches on Nintendo Switch later today.
Okay. Maybe not for me, but at the same time, oh, not
Buddy up
this
and
one.
experience the emotional tale of an unlikely friendship in the co-op adventure Blanc.
A wolf cub and a fawn are stranded together after a sudden snowstorm.
This looks like it is
Now,
going to
They
be
must learn to rely on each other as they trek through the vast snowy wilderness,
emotionally
following their
tormenting.
family's tracks.
Two players must work together by using each animal's abilities to navigate obstacles among the frosty terrain. In addition to simple controls, this game's story and gameplay are both text-free, so anyone can easily immerse themselves in this handcrafted, monochrome world.
I have no one to
Start
play this
your
with. I
journey
used to.
when Blanc steps
And then they
onto
found
Nintendo
someone else to
Switch
play
as a
games
console
with, so-
exclusive on February 14th.
Probably for the
Pre-orders
best, because I feel like this would
begin later
be...
today.
I feel like one of them's gonna die at the end, or they're gonna get back with their families, and their families
Can't
are like,
get
"You
enough
cannot be
indies?
friends with them."
Let's take a look at some
And then it's
more
gonna be a
games
bittersweet
coming to
ending where
Nintendo
they
Switch
completed their
soon.
goal, but now they have to part ways. It's like the end of the Hunchback of, or not the Hunchback. Listen to me. Although that has a kind of bittersweet ending as well, doesn't it? The Fox and the Hound. That movie's a heartbreaker. See, the problem with displaying games like this is that I've got no context for what I'm looking at or what it's about or how it works. I need them to come in and tell me about what the game is and what you're doing in it. Because I don't feel like these indie trailers really explain that very well. Was that girl in her underwear? I feel like she was. Maybe this is the 17 that was in the opening of the each video. Or maybe it's this rat game, actually. It looks pretty intense. Wait, what? That was a whole lot of game. Not really sure what any of them were. 'Cause, Is this Chores the video game? Because this feels like Chores the video game. These are just things I need to do. Why is there a cat messing everything up? Oh my gosh, there's a cat. Hello, cat. A little to the left.
Hi, I'm Annie.
Hi.
I guess we like to keep things pretty tidy around the house, don't we?
Yeah, it can be so satisfying to find the right spot for things.
Yeah, like I love finding the perfectly sized plastic container to fit leftovers in.
That's the best.
I know. This is what our game A Little to the Left is all about. Finding satisfying puzzles hidden among household objects.
Yeah, it's inspired by our lives, our home, and our cat, Rookie.
Rookie just gets in the way sometimes. He can't help
This
it.
guy has Jeff
He sleeps at
Geerling
Lucas's
vibes.
desk while he's working.
Yeah,
And Jeff Geerling is the
So
the
we
most
hope you have a
darling
good
man
time
on
tidying up
YouTube.
in A Little to the Left.
Protect
Thanks.
Jeff Geerling.
Can you move this picture a bit? Yes, a bit to the left. A little bit more. That's it. Perfect.
Wow, you really like things neat and tidy, huh?
You will too after playing A Little to the Left, a cozy puzzle game where you organize household objects into satisfying
This looks like a
arrangements.
good version of
Sort
what it
spoons of
is.
different sizes and shapes.
But I feel like if I played this, I would just be lying in my bed thinking about how I should be doing this in real life.
Pause off.
I
This
mean,
fluffy friend has
my
mischief
desk
on
is a
their
mess
mind
right now.
and will
If
show
I
up from time to time to
this would
make
probably
a
be
mess
cheaper though,
of
man.
your
Going
beautifully
to
organized
grab little like storage containers and stuff.
worry,
The
there
costs
are
add
more
up.
than 75 delightful messes to solve, many of which have multiple solutions. Oh, and yes, you can pet the cat.
Neat. A Little to the
Something
Left
else I can do in
launches
my
on
real life.
Nintendo Switch
That looks
later
fun and cute. Maybe not for me though,
And that's it
but
for
fun and
today's
cute.
indie.
That's it.
Wait, is that?
Sorry to butt in, but we have an update on
Okay.
Sports Story.
Yeah.
In this all-out sporting RPG,
It's been
you'll rise
canceled.
through the ranks of the sports world and
I've not
prove
played
your
Golf
prowess
Story yet.
on
I
a
think
golf
I own
course,
it on
tennis
multiple
court,
systems, and
and
I've just
soccer
not played
field.
it yet.
There are even more sports in your quest for athletic excellence. Raise your sporting rank to unlock even more disciplines, including BMX, mini golf, volleyball, cricket, and more. Then kick back at the mall to relax, go on quests, and explore dungeons?
That's right. This game isn't just about sports. Hop on a train or helicopter to visit goat-infested buildings, abandoned ruins, and the mysterious wildlands. Or pursue your other passions. Make friends and enemies, go fishing, become a detective, partake in a bit of espionage. There's so much to do.
You won't have to wait long. Sports Story kicks off on the Nintendo Switch system next month.
Wow. All right.
That's it for today's Indie World. We hope you enjoyed the games in today's showcase.
I did.
Thank you to our indie community and to partners working on games for Nintendo Switch. And as always, thank you for watching.
Don't forget to follow our official Twitter account to stay up to date on all the latest news from Indie World.
Until next time, happy gaming!
There's got to be a fake one of those now. With verified checkmark and everything. So here's the deal. Having now watched it, which I wasn't going to do, I found some little gems in there that I think I'm definitely going to go ahead and buy because they look like a fun time. So what I will say to the people who are out there just hating on this, if there was not at least one game in there that you thought looked interesting that you might want to play, then you just don't like indie games. And you should have known that going into the Indie World Showcase, because there was just about everything in there. There was a little bit of everything. And if not one thing appealed to you, then you just don't like indie games, and you shouldn't be disappointed at the indie games in the Indie World Showcase because you were never going to like them in the first place. Stop being stupid. You're an embarrassment to me, to your mother, to humanity. That's all I have to say on the subject, but there were some fun, cute things in here. I'm glad I watched it. I'm gonna go finish my hot chocolate now. It's, I think I need some water too. This is some thick stuff. I maybe made it a bit too strong, and I feel dehydrated now. So I'm gonna go get some water. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.